Hello, fabulous followers, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new to the small but hopefully growing channel. I'm the Simsbrarian. I'm a librarian who loves to play The Sims and lately to build in The Sims. So here we are today trying to veer away from the tiny houses for a change and tackling the 1 million simoleon challenge, but also with the base game limitation. So I figured I'd try to not only build a rather sprawling house, but do it so that it costs at least 1 million simoleons, in case you have any sim families that are aiming for that aspiration. And also do it with only base game items. So yeah, I did succeed and managed to spend that much money, but there was a lot of expensive decorations that were required for that. So, yeah, here we're just working on the layout of the very beginning. I really liked a couple of houses that I pass on my way to work that are in some very fancy areas and have these really phenomenal looking from the front U shapes. And well, I didn't make it a curved U shape, at least not yet. I'll maybe try that next time in a future build. I did try to tackle a nice square U shape here, and thought I'd add a couple towers, because what screams fancy, aside from a lot of space, other than lots of towers and elegant balconies, and yeah, basically I just tried to figure out what I could make to spend a lot of simoleons. So it involved 2 floors plus a finished basement and a lot of fancy decorations. And now I just found that we've got L-shaped stairs, or configurable staircases, from the update that came out today when I'm recording this. So all of this stair configuration that I used, thanks to Kate Emerald's fabulous tutorial, won't necessarily be required in the future, but I do like that I'm able to put whatever stair railings and fencing I want to put on there for the platforms, which I guess on the new configurable staircases isn't quite possible, since the platforms are part of the staircase, so they're whatever color the stairs are. But I do look forward to playing with those in the future, but for right now, I had already finished this build, so I figure I'll talk about this and we'll worry about playing with those new update items in the future. So right now I'm just adding a nice pool area, because I wanted the stairs to go down to a nice pool. I think I eventually push it down to ground level, because I wanted to do cool things with mirrors and windows, but in the end I just opted to make it a nice in-ground pool and save myself a little trouble there. So I think I end up putting the fun little turtle decals down there, because they're cute and I like them. And yeah, I tried. There are a lot of fancy sculptures and artworks that I try to put in here just to rack up the simoleon count. But for right now, we're trying to work out. I wanted to put a little bathhouse area out here, and oh, that's right. First, I created the gazebo. I end up moving that in a bit, and I don't think it ends up being 2 stories, but I was playing around trying to figure out if I could make it just really tall with a nice edging, and in the end I ended up moving the gazebo over. You'll see afterwards. So yeah, it's just after Labor Day weekend here where I am, and yeah, I had some good time relaxing this weekend, and it's time to get back and craft some things and walk you through the things I crafted. So yeah, here I'm trying to get that gazebo ready. For some reason I really wanted to make it very tall, but I couldn't get rid of that piece in the middle without losing the trim and making it look strange, so I end up taking that second level off and making it a cute little one-level gazebo, and we move that over into the far corner so that we can get a nice bathhouse going next to the pool, because I figure if you're fancy enough that you have a big U-shaped house with 2 floors, and I forget if it's got 3 or 4 big bedrooms and a sprawling master suite and a fully furnished basement with a game room and a science room, you definitely have a bathhouse for your pool. And then I made these little octagonal, well, once I fix it, octagonal rooms off the side, off the front. And I made those into little reading nooks on each level. So, librarian, so there are a lot of little reading nooks and a lot of bookcases in here. And basically, if I had a house this fancy, I would definitely have bookcases everywhere and little places where you could hide away and just settle down with a good book, or maybe a nice little computer nook. There are a lot of places where you can set up and play your own version of The Sims, so that would be fun. And here I start working on the roofs. So for the most part, I knew how I wanted the roofs to go for some of the easier sections, like the long straight areas of the U, and then the little towers, those were easy. But for the center, I really started off wanting it to be sort of a greenhouse feel with a nice bit of glass over it, but in the end I just didn't think it looked right, so I end up fiddling with this for quite some time just so we can get it looking right, and then end up having to tweak some of the underlaying buildings so that the roofs didn't overhang too much. Just wanted it to have a nice curb appeal, a nice look from the front, so that it would look very appealing and elaborate, but not like somebody went wild with the roofing tool and just did whatever. So I made a couple little, what are those called? Dormers? A couple little dormer windows, even though I don't think I actually fit any windows in there. But yeah, you'll see I put a lot of roofs down, put some back, take them off, and I finally do get these little dormers going, and then I try to just put them all over the place. So maybe in the end I did go a little wild with the roofing, and but yeah, there I am changing the shape, adding a little bit more building, because what's a sprawling 100 simoleon manor without just a little extra space? And in that tower I end up putting a lot of windows and just making it a really tall open area. I forget what's in the bottom, probably another reading nook. But yeah, there I take the glass roof off there. If you did want to put it back and make it into a covered area so that your Sims weren't technically outside, or you could put even more garden boxes in there, you could definitely do that and cover it all up and make it a roofed area. But here I am putting some bricks on there. I think I changed the colors a few times, but I generally stay with the gray brick because I kind of liked how it looks with the red that I ended up going with. I wanted to do a lot of like red and black and white was my color theme of choice here. So right now I'm just setting up the little bathhouse that I wanted to do. So over on the right side of that little area there's going to be some bathrooms, but so you don't have to go all the way inside and track water inside after being in the pool all day. You can just rinse off or use the restroom over there. And then I did a nice little trellis area over here, which I had fun doing that because with the new or new to us anyways, access to the many plants in the bb.show hidden objects and bb.show live edit objects. I'm able to put a lot of greenery around there that you wouldn't normally have access to. Although here, where I'm trying to spend 1 million simoleons, it's not really as necessary, since we can get a lot of those items, at least a lot of the base plants in the regular catalog, and they're actually expensive, a lot of the plants. So whereas in the new menu, or in the new cheat, they're definitely for free, or 4 simoleons for some of the big rocks. But anyways, now we're putting windows all over. I really like the red shutters and how it kind of popped against the gray. So I just put windows all over the place because I figured you'd want a nice bit of sunshine coming in. And for all the places where you'd want it to be darker, we definitely have the basement area for that. So I just concentrated on putting windows all over the place. So anywhere you go in here, it's going to be well lit, and nice sliding glass doors for even more sunshine to get in there. And yeah, now I just change out that front door. I think I went from the square to the round, and I test out a couple of fence patterns, but in the end, I just make it so that a lot of this space becomes greenery. And although I did mess with the colors of that tile quite a bit, and I think I cut some of that out because I couldn't make up my mind whether I wanted it truly white or the dark black or something more natural like gravel. But I do think I end up going with that black tile and then using that later all the way around the building. And now we're putting a lot of windows inside, looking into the interior garden that I made. I consider it more of a garden space than a little greenhouse area since I took the glass roof off. And getting some plants out here. We're just trying to liven the space up and make it nice and green. And we'll see lots of those plants going down right away. I find it very soothing to watch that as they all go plink, 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 plink. So, anyways, yeah, I kind of picked whichever bush was pretty close to the most expensive, but also had a little bit of red in it. And then I also do add some other colors as well, just to give a little hint of not so much wildness, but just a hint of some other vegetation in here other than little red, what are they? I think they're rose bushes. No, they don't look like the little rose bush. I think those are pink flowers. But anyways, these little red flower bushes of some kind. I do have my own garden, so you'd think I'd know what kind of flower it is, but nope, not for right now. So yeah, how about you guys? Do you guys have a garden? I think we're getting to the end of summer where I am here. Like I think I mentioned, we just got past the Labor Day weekend, and that's the end of September, or beginning of September, end of August, so we're heading into the beginning of autumn where I am, so that means it'll be getting cooler. Maybe I'll do some autumn-themed builds, since I may not have all the packs, but I do have seasons, and I like seasons, so I could use that. Get some nice, I don't know, maybe an apple cider mill or something fun. Pumpkin patch farm, or that could be fun. Maybe do where the great pumpkin comes up. But yeah. So now I'm trying to work on the little towers and get windows all around them and space those out so that they're not clipping into the floors above, and make it look cool from the front and the back angles. Even if you actually were up in there, the view out of some of those windows wouldn't be so great. You'd be looking at the roof. But yeah, I just put a nice marble down around the building, and I do think I stay with the black marble, but I did try quite a few others just because I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. So got a bunch of rocks and plants, and I did remember to put out the garbage bin and the mailbox, so you do have those, and there are plenty of trash cans in the house, so you'll at least have everything you'll need to start there. And here I go, putting down a bunch of plants up there, make it look like a nice grown over archway arbor. Get a little bit of greenery down, not too much, because I imagine whoever lives in a house like this has a lot of folks taking care of the maintenance and the landscaping, and they wouldn't let anything get too unruly. I think they'd be everything crisp and clean and very on purpose, I guess, is how I would think of it. And more of those awesome little red plants and our little white flowers. And yeah, just kind of taking up every space. And goodness, I imagine it would take forever to make sure to water and take care of all these plants. So maybe they have a lot of sprinklers everywhere. I didn't put those down, but if you wanted to, you probably could, and set them all to auto, and that would, oh gosh, I don't know if that would break the rendering of the game at some point, because there'd be a lot of water sprinkling all at once. So, but anyways, now we're making the pool area already. I kind of went all in with the red. You could easily change those all to black chairs and dim down a little bit the all in for very red accents, but I kind of liked it. It felt kind of festive and bright, almost tropical, but still with the base game, so tropical base game. And I had fun kind of putting those fruit bowls and ships out there. I ended up getting a lot of the screenshots in, I think it was spring still, when I had my Sims there, but for right now it looks all summer and lively and bright, so the tropical theme kind of fits. And then just going into those bathhouse areas, and I make a nice archway into the building over here. Yeah, and then get a lot of windows and doors where they need to be. And I kind of made in the middle section here, which leads off into two separate bathrooms, so you can have multiple Sims using their own kind of large bathroom areas. I guess I could have done little toilet stalls, but you've got two over here with full showers, and I imagined you could put a little laundry area here where I'm putting all the towels if you had the laundry day stuff and wanted a little laundry room. But for now it's just a area with a whole bunch of towels, and because I figure you definitely need a lot of towels right next to the pool, especially if you have a big gathering and have a lot of people come over, and you'd want to be able to offer them up some fresh dry towels and a nice bathroom area to rinse off. So we've got that, and the nice sinks, and I do like those little lattice type doors for base game. They were really nice. And yeah, now I'm just figuring out the tiles to put down, and I did cut out some of the bathrooms in the builds, so you don't have to watch, oh goodness, how many are there? Maybe 6 bathrooms in here, so you don't have to watch all 6 of them, but I do have screenshots of those later, so you can see how. And here I'm doing what I thought was a really cute little planter accent on the outside of the bathroom house, or bathhouse, and just put some plants up in there in the little fake window decorations, and I thought that looked kind of cool and inviting and very neat and proper. Like it wasn't a unruly plant, so I thought that kind of fit with the vibe that was coming out from here. And then here I'm working on the inner garden area. I kind of had some problems with the terrain tools. The tool kept jumping to other areas, so I end up making a nice round area in the middle, and then little paths to each of the 4 doors, and nice grill area, eating area. There's actually quite a few places that your Sims can choose to sit and eat out here, so I figured that would be really good for entertaining. You have a lot of places that you can take your Sims and take a meal, or make a meal, which, if your Sims aren't great at cooking, could also mean a lot more places for them to start fires, so maybe keep an eye on them until they're good enough to not set themselves on fire with a grill. But until that point, you've got a lot of options for where to eat, and I imagine the Sims that live in this house are incredibly fancy and have lots of dinner parties, and I think this area would be a nice one for overflow when guests aren't into the dance vibe or whatever dinner party vibe is going on in the main house, and they could sneak out here and enjoy the grill. And there's some little planter boxes and some artwork, or an easel. There's also an easel later, I think, on the balcony that's above the garden, so your Sim could get some really good views there. And now we're moving inside, and I'm kind of tackling one of the 2 piano rooms where your Sim can practice their piano skills to their heart's content. And both piano rooms are closed off to the rest of the house, so if no one else wants to hear them play, maybe when they're just starting off and aren't so great, they can be locked away and not bothering the rest of the household. But there are little seats there for when they do get really good and people do want to sit and watch. And now we're taking a look at the cost, and we're only up to just under halfway, 460,000 simoleons, I think. So I worked on a really large kitchen, which, aside from a library, I think would be my dream space in a house. Would be a fantastically huge kitchen with all the fancy equipment and all the giant islands with places to chop up your food and prepare things, and not worry about where you're going to fit the toaster, and if you have the toaster on the counter, how are you going to fit the mixer. But yeah, these folks living in this house don't have that problem. They have plenty of space to figure that out. And so yeah, giant kitchen underway, and one of the many dining areas is over there. I put a lot of storage in here because a kitchen this large, you definitely want a lot of places to put all your pantry foods, pantry goods, and all your fancy dishes. Because if you're entertaining enough people to fill all the tables in this house, you're definitely going to need a lot of china. So I think there are a couple china cabinets throughout the house. I think a couple downstairs too, because there's a second kitchen downstairs in the basement as well. And then these fancy paintings and statues of the guys holding up the little trays, which I think you can put some small items there, like maybe some books or little flowers. And yeah, there goes another one of those china hutches, and a lot of flowers. I like that red vase of, I'm not even sure what kind of flowers. It mostly looks like a stick with a white flower on the end of it, but whatever those are, I really liked how they fit with the red and black and white vibe that I was going for in the whole house. Aside from some of the bedrooms, I made those kind of fit whatever personality of the two teen girls, I think, that I had living in here, testing things out, making sure they worked. And this is the upstairs living room with a nice fireplace, again, which you can feel free to take out and just put a counter or a table there if you're worried about your Sims burning the place down before you get a chance to enjoy all the fancy living. And although, from experience, having tested in here, if they do set something on fire, and they catch it very fast, there's so much house, and you can probably get away with only burning a couple things and having to replace a couple squares of flooring, and yeah, so, but those are all fixed and should be good now. And you'll see I'm just putting lots and lots of the expensive artwork all around, just trying to get some more of those simoleons up. And here's one of the many reading nooks. I made both levels of the tower into these little reading room areas where you can just kind of go out there and take a book and just sit in the quiet and read. And in here, just on the outside of the little upstairs book area, I end up making kind of a library area with some countertops that you can put a lot of books and clutter, and got a nice little globe in there. And I think I do put some countertops in there maybe that the kids can kind of sit there and do their homework. So it's just a nice little spot that you can maybe consider like a study area, and your Sims can come and go, get some books, and maybe check themselves out and get a new outfit in the mirrors, but another china hutch. And I think now we move on to the front, and I did change it back to a gray tile instead of the black. So yeah, we just put out some more plants and make a nice little green spot in the middle, so that you're not just looking down a big expanse of pure gray tile there, which I thought looked a little bit better with the greenery there. And now I'm just going around, I think, changing some of the colors to make them pop a little bit more. I do change the gray brick to a slightly darker brick, and the white areas I changed to a crisper white plaster, I think, just to kind of make the contrast a little more clear. And for the master bedroom, I should call it master bedroom suite, because there are quite a few rooms just on this whole branch of the house that are all connected to the master bedroom area. I brought that same color scheme in because I figured the parents of the house would be the ones who had picked the whole color scheme of red, black, and white, so they'd want that in their bedroom. And I kind of put the fancy necklace because it looked cool, but also because it's very expensive, and we're still trying to get up above, I think we're still under 800,000 simoleons over here, so we're trying to rack up the cost. So yeah, you can see that whole master bedroom suite goes into the upstairs reading nook through, I think I make that long room into a office slash library area, and they've got their own balcony that goes down to the pool. So you're definitely living the high life up in this building, especially in this suite area. And I really like putting that map picture over a desk area because it makes it feel very scholarly. And getting some more bookcases in here, because what's a library without a lot of bookcases? And I kind of stuck with the gray and red, black and white theme in here as well, and made it kind of a cozy area where you can sit and use it as an office and do your computer work or your gaming. And then outside, I didn't put too much seating, but I do have a nice little fountain over here, so I put some benches out there in case your sim wants to sit and watch the fountain for a while. And on the other side of the house, I put a nice little, well, you'll laugh again, but another reading nook, but also a art easel. So I figure your sim could look out into the gazebo and take some cool pictures out there for them to do still lifes, and use that as a nice little painting area to build up some of their. So I just decorate that with a couple nice rugs and some nice plants and draperies, and then I kind of worked simultaneously on the rest of the bedrooms. There's the brown bedroom, the blue bedroom, and the pink sort of princess child bedroom. And I really liked those color schemes and making them kind of fun. I really liked using the blues and the pinks and kind of giving everything that hardwood floor as a base. But I really went all in with the color theming in each room to make everything pretty specific to each room. So you've got the fancy blue room suite, the brown or naturals room maybe suite, and I think every bedroom does have its own bathroom. So yeah, everything is a suite. Nothing's as expansive as the master suite, which has the whole library and office area connected to it, but I do still think these are pretty massive for bedrooms, especially if you're a child and you've got your own bathroom, let alone your own desk and office space and area for all your toys. Yeah, this would be an interesting place to grow up, I imagine. Perhaps a little strange, too, since you're not fighting to share a bedroom with a sibling, or you've got all this space to yourself. But it did still include a separate office suite area, so maybe when the parents want to go have office meetings or something, or have business compatriots over, or if the kids want to all do some online gaming together, they can all get in this room together and play on the computer. So I figured that could be a nice community space for the family. Just like this area downstairs, which I made into pretty much a massive in-home theater. So you've got plenty of chairs and the giant TV. I'm not sure actually if you can technically watch the TV from all the chairs, but it would be worth trying to see how many people you could get in there and have them all try to watch a movie. So I put a lot of movie posters down there, figuring this is like the cool hangout space, and I make a nice bar area here. It's actually one of two. I cut the other one out, but you'll see it in the screenshots. There's another one upstairs that's a little more cutesy with some of those pop art llama and sloth pictures in there. And we kind of closed that off instead of doing arches, because I figured if you're watching a nice movie, you want to not hear any other noises from the rest of the house. So, especially since I put a jukebox in the room outside. But we make the side rooms into some gaming areas and a nice workout gym, because what's a big fancy house without a in-home gym? And we did just crest over in the top left. You can see the lot value is just over 1 million simoleons now. So you've got a couple gaming rooms, and here's the second piano room. So your Sims can work on their skill building all over the house. Definitely a lot of art skills, because I figured your Sims in this house could work on their music skills and their art craft skills. But I do have some science equipment. I end up putting an observatory outside, and yet another awesome library reading nook in here. And you can see on the left there, I cut the build of that out because there had already been a bathroom, but there's a 3-stall bathroom down there, because I figure folks are probably down here having fun and drinking at the bar, so they'll probably need to use the restroom. And yeah, here I make a pretty cool science space. with the rocket pad that you can build a rocket on and the microscope. And I kind of clutter up a bit of counter space over here soon. You will need to probably move the rocket outside. I don't know if you can build it inside, but once it's built, you'll probably want to move it outside so you can use it. But yeah, you can work on your arts and crafts and also your space and microbiology, or what do you use the microscope for? Is that just a science skill, logic skill? Anyways, second kitchen downstairs. So you've got more cabinetry, more dishes, and some stools that you can eat at, and another whole dining table set. So yeah, you've got plenty of places to entertain in here, and a whole dance floor area down at the bottom of the stairs. So we're coming to the end of the video now, though, and the end of the speed build. So I hope you enjoy the screenshots coming up next, and thanks for staying tuned for such a long build. I hope you had fun watching this Million Simoleon base game home take shape, and I will catch you next time with what will probably be a much smaller build. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.